You know,
So,
but still, and then so with Cody, so I mean that's 12 guys this month. 12 noticeable or notable characters that they.
So then essentially, just to kind of do this here, WWE released a whole bunch of guys. Got in kind of a public spat with Ryback in a sense. He kind of had said some bad things about the company, and then on top of all that, Cody Rhodes publicly requested his release from the company because he was unhappy with his position.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a damn shame because Cody Rhodes is a great wrestler. You know, he's the son of a great wrestler, and his brother's a great wrestler. And like, this was a guy who had...
He's the son of a plumber.
He has so much talent and so much potential. And to just kind of say, you know what, I don't like this. I want to be let go. I'm done. I don't want to perform anymore.
Yeah, I'm out.
Well, I can, and here's my thing. I can understand letting go of Alex Riley. He hasn't done anything since he went back down to NXT.
Right.
It was just a matter of time with him. You got so much other talent. You know, if he wants to go to TNA and reinvent himself, best of luck to him. Cameron, she was the same thing. She was never good in the ring. So see you later. Bye, girl. That was her thing.
Bye,
so bye, girl. Hornswoggle, I can't believe he had a job for that long.
10 years.
Good on him for sticking under the radar.
And then like Torito, right, is
Torito, which I was kind of surprised at Torito because I thought he was entertaining.
Right.
He was a good wrestler.
Yeah.
Being a
lot of the cool like lucha stuff.
So, but they got rid of the group, so now they're replaced by the Shining Stars, which that tag team will take off. Let me tell you.
Right.
But the big one that everyone's pretty upset about, a couple of them, well, Sandow.
Yeah, who was looking good. I mean, him and
what angers me is it doesn't really anger me, but what upsets me is that you got a guy like that who, and everyone says the same thing about him. He takes any freaking stupid gimmick you have and he gets it over.
Mm-hmm.
How is a guy like that not valuable to your company?
Right.
Like, I understand you don't have anything for him at the moment, but how many useless people do they keep on that talent roster?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put this in perspective real quick here. We had Damian Sandow, who had how many crap gimmicks and got every one of them over, versus the Funkasaurus, who was that gimmick for ever and couldn't make it pop.
No, it was bad. Yeah, just
nobody
bad.
cared.
In his defense, though, that gimmick ran its course.
It did.
You get about 6 solid months of it, and then it can go for about a year. Then after that, it's
extinction.
But that's kind of the thing with it, though, too. Is it's like they give Sandow this gimmick. You give Sandow a gimmick, he makes it work for 6-7 months. Yeah. It's done. They give him a new one. Mm-hmm. He makes it work for 6-7 months. It's done. They give him a new one. They give him a new one, another one, another one, another one, and then Brodus Clay. They just gave him the one gimmick. Like, okay, that's it. You need to make this work, or that's it.
Well, and like we were talking about Epico and Primo. Now they're the Shining Stars.
Yep.
Every gimmick they've had, they've never really gotten over,
no,
and they've been with the company forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's not to say anything against them or their talent.
They're good wrestlers, but
they've never had a very good gimmick, and they've never gotten over.
Right.
So they've always been jobbers as far as that's concerned. Yep. Enhancement talent is probably what WWE likes to call them. Is just enhancement talent, which is fine. You gotta have guys like that. You have guys like Heath Slater on the roster that make everybody else look good. That's great. And like you said, those two are good wrestlers. But in what world do you keep those two but you lose Sandow?
Right.
A guy who's a thoroughbred, who's great, who gets stuff over.
It's a stupid world.
And I gotta believe a lot of Cody Rhodes leaving too has to do with the new generation, the new call-ups. Mm-hmm. Because here's kind of what I see. So you see all these other guys. You see your John Cena's, your Randy Orton's, all your guys that are at the top 10 years ago, and they were 10 years ago when Cody Rhodes started, or he's been with the company for 10 years, so he was probably in NXT for a while, so maybe he's been on the main roster 7-8 years, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But so anyways, but by the time he got there, Cena and Orton were there. Those guys have been on top for the past 10 years. We've got nothing but them.
Right.
Them, same guys. And then you're coming in, and all of a sudden, Roman Reigns is your World Heavyweight Champion. Seth Rollins is your World Heavyweight Champion. Dean Ambrose is working a thing with Chris Jericho. It doesn't take a genius to see the writing on the wall.
No.
Right.
You have been officially, and they've really, I feel like they skipped over a whole generation.
Mm-hmm.
They screwed over an entire group of superstars, an entire, 5-6 year group of guys.
Absolutely.
Your Rybacks, your Cody Rhodes, all those guys. They all got screwed over because they were scared to go with anybody.
Yep.
Same thing with Barrett. Wade Barrett. That's why he left.
Yeah,
because
he was supposed to be our new Regal, our new Steven Regal.
Yeah.
It's like, and then they just.
But I gotta believe big time that that's what it is. Is that it's, looking around and saying, well, I'm clearly never going to go. I'm clearly never going to get to that level. And I watched Punk's pipe bomb the other day, and the big thing that he said, which really, really jumped out at me this time, as opposed to the last time when I saw it, was he said, "I can't count how many of Vince McMahon's imaginary brass rings I've grabbed." You know what I mean? And that's the thing, because that's what Vince said on that podcast was, they gotta grab the brass ring and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, some guys are getting over. Cesaro they put in a great place. I'm happy that the Miz is back on top. That dude he's prime. He's as good as he's ever been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now, I would not. You can give the Miz a world title run right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
Him and Maurice are freaking dynamite.
That'd be good stuff.
And then I thought I read, dude, isn't Cody Rhodes still technically, like, they released him, but he's still under.
That's another
some provisional
infuriating
contract.
Part. Is that if it is true, and who knows,
right.
But apparently the company wants to stick the screws to him and really
prevent him from working, which is kind of, once again, you go back to CM Punk. They gave him his papers on his wedding day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
claim was a mix-up.
Oh, it was a mix-up. I didn't know.
Like, it's one of those things where, like,
I know you're selling it, Vince, but I ain't buying it.
Vince McMahon's too arrogant to.
Maybe if it was a NECA Ninja Turtles
then he'd buy it?
arcade set, then I'd buy it.
Until then.
Until then, no, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Just this Cody Rhodes thing has just really left a sour taste in my mouth for WWE, which is a company I haven't really respected in a long time, because they seem to refuse to give the fans what they want.
Listen.
And then, well, not only that, they won't give you what you want, and then they tell you that it's too bad and you got to deal with it anyways. Like, oh, the fans were never in charge. Like, you get ratings. Like, if the fans quit watching
and quit paying $115,
then that's kind of it for you.
Show.
Like, if we quit watching, then that's kind of it. I mean, like, you may think the fans don't dictate what happens in the storyline, but they do, because they have ratings and you get paid. Like, they buy stuff. If they quit, then that's it. I mean, it would probably be a good idea at some point to say, hey, at the very least, let's give something interesting and new a shot and see what happens.
And like I said, I'll jump on the Owens and Zayn and stuff like that. They are giving new stuff.
Right.
And now that Seth Rollins is back, they can give him the title, and Roman can go, can hopefully go back into a little bit of obscurity, and hopefully get that dirty X-Pac heat he has on him, and he can clean himself off, because I don't know how you feel about it, but me and Terrence have discussed it, and I don't think the guy's a bad wrestler.
No.
And even at the show we were at, I was very impressed with the fact that he went up and he took a picture with every kid that ran up to the gate. You know,
Absolutely.
And he took the time, slapping hands and everything like that.
He was having a good time.
He took a good 20 minutes out of his day that he
appreciates his fans. Yeah. That much is for sure.
And he'd say somebody met him at a bar or something.
Yeah, he was hanging out before the show.
Nice guy.
And that's the thing. And then with all these guys, and it's like, and it's easy as, obviously with our superior physiques and stuff to critique these guys.
But the fact of the matter is, I mean, all these dudes, every one of these guys, I mean, they are working their asses off to be where they are. And at this point in time, give them a real spotlight again and make it. And I'm not saying we have to go like the comic book route of characters and whatever, but when you look back, that's why we are lifelong fans, because we grew up with the characters, with the Macho Mans and stuff. And it's easy. You don't want to compare to those days, but in this industry, you compare to those days because
and
now
nostalgia is in.
Yeah, where
nostalgia's it's like, freaking in.
Yeah, where here's your chance to listen to your fans and give us, if anything, like give us product or teams rather that we can stand behind. Where those days are gone now, where we can all sit here and as wrestling fans, where we can watch all together and be 100% neutral about it.
Yep.
Where back in the day it'd be like, it's like, oh, you like Steamboat? I'm Savage. Although, like grr, we can't. Yeah. Oh man, I can't. We, when Hogan and Savage split, and it was just like, oh, you're one or the other, and then it's like, but then these days, bringing in Owens and we've talked our Unstoppable Fours many, many, many times, but it's like they bring in these guys and it's just like, all right, here Kevin Owens, and he's here to shake things up by beating he doesn't care. He's here to beat people up. Here's this other guy. He doesn't care. He's just here to beat people up. And it's like, well, that's what everybody's doing. And at this point, nothing differentiates any of them.
Right.
Character-wise, there's no reason to have any emotional attachment to any of them. There's no reason to.
The difference between Sheamus and Rusev is an accent.
Yep.
Right. And that's and
Alana.
Yeah.
Lord help me, Alana.
Hey, check out her Instagram if you haven't yet.